Good morning, ELD1. Happy Friday. Last Friday of the year. What? All right. So a couple of things. Number one, you should be finishing up with your Rosetta Stone. Should be all done with that. Next week, Tuesday is a regular day. There's no school on Monday. Yeah, no school on Monday. Tuesday is a regular day. And then Wednesday is first day of finals. Wednesday, you have periods 1, 2, and 3. And for my class, we will be doing a test. It'll be on your computer. It'll be on MyNG Connect. It will be the benchmark test. And we will be doing that from 9:42 to 11:09. So you need to plan on doing your final then, 9:42 to 11:09 on next Wednesday. But today is Friday, and today we are doing Tornado Survivor, which you read the other day. So let's go ahead and turn there. I'm going to share my screen with you. So you should be seeing Tornado Survivor here. All right. So the first thing I see here, okay, is that it's written as a newspaper article. And so here, Tornado Survivor, that's the title, called The Luckiest Man on Earth. Kind of like the subtitle there. So you got the title and then the subtitle. It's an adaptation of an article by Wes Johnson. And so he's the person who wrote this article. And then we have this, Fordland, Missouri, March 19th, 2006. So in newspaper articles, we get places and dates, and that way it kind of situates us. It lets us know where and when we are talking about. So we are in Missouri, the state inside the United States. There's a state called Missouri, and inside Missouri, there is a city called Fordland. So let's read. Matt Sutter couldn't believe how loud the sound was. It came from outside the trailer home's walls. The Fordland High School senior stood on a sofa. He struggled to close a window. Outside, rain and wind hit the trailer. It got louder and louder. It sounded like 10 military jets were coming at us, Sutter said. Suddenly, there was lots of pressure. The doors blew out. I looked at my grandma. The walls were moving. The roof was moving. The floor was moving just like Jell-O. I could feel the whole trailer tipping over. All right, so first thing, it says the Fordland High School senior. So we know we're talking about Matt Sutter because it says Matt Sutter, right? It tells us who it is. And now it tells us that he is a senior in high school, okay? And he says he's in his home, in his trailer. And the pressure and the wind, oh, it's crazy, okay? And then Jell-O. I don't know how to describe Jell-O. It's a food, and it kind of wiggles, and it's kind of soft and kind of juicy and kind of gooey. It's just food that you make. You could Google it. Here, I'll Google it. I've already shared my image, my screen with you. We'll just Google Jell-O. J-E-L-L-O. Jell-O. So maybe that looks familiar to you. All right. Let us continue. A heavy lamp hit Sutter in the head. He lost consciousness. In an instant, the tornado sucked Sutter through the collapsing trailer walls. Blown by 150-mile-per-hour winds, the unconscious teen was then pulled up into the raging blackness. Sutter eventually landed in a field. He was dazed and his head was injured, but otherwise he was not hurt. Sutter may hold the record for the longest distance traveled by anyone picked up by a tornado who lived to tell about it. 1,307 feet, or 398 meters. I've never heard of anyone going that far in a tornado and surviving, tornado researcher Tom Grazulius said. In more than 40,000 reports about tornadoes, I've only found one person who was carried more than a mile, but he died. So what's interesting is about this tornado, and here we got this great picture of the tornado. That wind twisting. All right. And so this expert, this tornado researcher says he's never seen anyone get tossed like the way Matt was tossed, which is crazy. All right, and here's a little picture of the United States, and we have what's called Tornado Alley. Now here in California, we're over here in California, we have earthquakes. We don't get tornadoes. But in the middle of the country, there are lots of tornadoes. And so this is kind of like the central area for where most tornadoes hit. And Fordland is just outside. It doesn't mean it can't. It just means this is where most of them happen. An alleyway is like a place where you might drive. And it just means this is where a lot of tornadoes come through. When Sutter woke up, he was confused. There was blood pouring down his face from the cut in his head. Everything was gone. I could see debris everywhere, he said. Sutter was barefoot and soaking wet from rain. He started looking for help. A neighbor found Sutter at his door. He wrapped Sutter in a blanket. Then the neighbor called his brother, who drove Sutter back to see the damage. All right, let's focus here for just a second. We have this word debris, and I know it ends in IS, but we don't say debris. We say debris. Say it with me, debris. Good. All right, so over here we have a picture of Sutter's home, and over here is where he landed. Okay. Matt Sutter survived being sucked up by a tornado and thrown 1,307 feet, almost 5 soccer fields away. So if you had one soccer field, another, and another, and another, and another, 5 of them all making a long chain, that's how far he was tossed. He may have set a new record for distance traveled by a tornado survivor. All right, let's finish this up here. The only thing left is the deck I'd been building for my grandma, Sutter said. Everything else is in the field or in the trees. Sutter's physician, Dr. Ron Buning, said that Sutter will recover from his injuries. He was the luckiest man on earth, Buning said. And then we have this word physician here. Physician means doctor. After the storm, Sutter plans to help his grandmother rebuild her home. After he graduates, he wants to join the Marines. As for being a tornado survivor, I've always wanted to see a tornado, he said, but I sure didn't want to be in one. It's pretty funny. So that's a pretty amazing story. All right. There we go. Let's go ahead and look at some of this vocabulary here. We have the word damage and defenseless, die, fear, injured, powerful, recover, and weak. So, all right. So Matt Sutter was picked up by the tornado. The tornado took his body and put him 5 soccer fields away, 1,307 feet away, which is pretty far. And he lived to talk about it. He was able to get up. He had a cut and blood, but other than that, he's going to be okay. Pretty amazing story. All right, ELD1, have a good day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your break on Monday. And get ready for finishing up the school year. Yeah. Take care now. Bye-bye.